Welcome everyone. Hare Krishna. On behalf of your ISKCON Chicago Temple, I am deeply humbled and honored to welcome you all on this evening to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Kishore Kishori. Haribo! For the next couple of hours, you will get to hear from the various dignitaries present today on how this temple has been at the center of a tremendous positive influence for 3 generations of Chicagoland devotees. Isn't that awesome? Our deity Kishore Kishori embodies the male and female forms of our supreme energy and consciousness that's inside all of us. It binds us all eternally to selflessly love and care for each other. I repeat, to selflessly love and care for each other. Thank you so much for everyone for taking your precious time to spend this special evening with us on this momentous occasion. So please let me introduce our hostess and host for this evening. Please welcome our dear Vinita Gulabani. Please welcome our dear Anuttama Prabhu. Vinita ji, you have been a shining light in the Chicagoland Indian community, isn't it? You have been a prominent community leader for many, many years. You are the current president of FIA, the Federation of Indian Association. You are also the founder of the Indian American Cultural Association focused on special needs and seniors. I have seen personally how you have kept the community united as a family with your love and care. Please welcome our dear Anuttama Prabhu again. You have been a guiding force for the North American ISKCON community. Thank you so much for everything what you do. Anuttama Prabhu is the Minister of Communications for ISKCON worldwide. Prabhu has served as a member of ISKCON governing body, GBC, since 1999 and oversees many ISKCON temples, including the Chicago area. Prabhu was initiated into the Krishna Consciousness Order by Srila Prabhupada himself in 1976 in Vrindavan, India. Among his many duties, he publishes ISKCON News online, oversees ISKCON outreach to the media governments and interfaith, and he convenes the annual Vaishnava Christian dialogues and Vaishnava Muslim dialogue in the US and India. So without much ado, we're handing over to Vinita ji and Anuttama Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. So Vinita and I, we will be your host and hostess for the evening. We want to begin, if Radhakunda Dasi, and I did not connect with her ahead of time, I apologize. Is Radhakunda Dasi here? We wanted to have everyone join us in a short prayer. I see someone is sending you to stage, but you don't look like you were told about this. This is why you should never volunteer to MC anything. Even if you get a sick machine, between us we have 12-page script, but so far stage 1 is having problems here, so this might be a long night. Radhakunda, are you aware that you're singing and chanting with us? Really? Okay, well walk up slowly, finish swallowing the samosa. And what we wanted to do, we know many times in different Hindu events we begin with opening by lighting a lamp, but we thought because this is the Hare Krishna temple, and we particularly focus on chanting mantras, we were going to ask you if you would lead us in a little singing of the Maha Mantra for 5 minutes, okay? Subal, I believe, as soon as you turn the sound down, it's a little too much, Prabhu, with some echo here. He's going to join you with some drum. Just a very brief.
Let's give a round of applause for her. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Radhakund. That was beautiful. So, Subal Prabhu is going to be setting up a very brief video for us. We're going to show an excerpt of the movie Joy of Devotion, which is actually available online if you want to see the whole, I think, 35-minute film that was produced a few years ago in honor of the 50th anniversary of the whole International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which was founded in 1966 by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So many of us are aware, as we'll talk about throughout the evening, of the importance of this community and of its contributions for so many years, now 50 years. But we also have to recognize, we should recognize, and we all do recognize, that there would be no ISKCON Chicago or ISKCON Washington, D.C., where I live, or ISKCON anywhere of the 700 temples around the world, without the influence of one very special person. So this video is going to give a little introduction to Srila Prabhupada, and then I'll speak about it for a few minutes, followed by a lovely cultural dance by our special dance troupe that will be joining us. So, Subal Prabhu.
They're beautiful, they're colorful, they're vibrant.
We acknowledge our differences, we embrace them, and then we use them to our advantage.
The quality of one's heart is something that goes beyond whatever physical labels that we might put up on our bodies. This is when you are head over heels in love with someone, and you have to shout it from the moon.
That was what they call in Hollywood a quick cut. So this is the introduction to about a 35-40-minute film, Joy Devotion. So just to fill in the answer to this question a little bit, which it ends with, can he succeed? So many of us know the story, but just to briefly highlight it, at the age of 70, actually turned 70 on board the ship Jaladuta, Prabhupada came from India to the West on the order of his spiritual teacher, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to bring the Vaishnava tradition to America and from there around the world. Even after he came here, he struggled for almost a year all by himself. He was in New York City with very little success, very little response. But he started a very small temple with a small group of Western disciples who assisted him in New York. Then he went to San Francisco, then he went to Montreal. From there it began to spread around the world. Those of you who may be a little bit history buffs of that era may be aware of some of the kind of phenomenal cultural barriers that Prabhupada crossed. When he went to San Francisco, we all know that was the era of Victorian values in America, right? The 70s and the 60s in California, right? That's when very British, prim and proper people were dominating the culture, and Mataji's nodding her head up and down. She's very gracious, but you should be going, no, that's not exactly not what it was. That was the era of youth rebellion and much interest in spirituality. Prabhupada landed in a place where the common expression was don't trust anyone over 30. And the mantra was not Hare Krishna. The mantra was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That was the mantra. Prabhupada landed in the middle of that and somehow convinced young people to take up the process of Krishna consciousness. And the question is, can he succeed? He traveled around the globe 14 times in an 11-year period of time. He met many important, influential people at that time. He visited 6 different continents. He translated dozens of books, including Bhagavad Gita with elaborate commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which are the foundational text of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. He opened 108 temples and he initiated about 5,000 disciples. And the big question is always what happens after such an influential religious person leaves. And I just want to end with this little story. When we had the 50th anniversary of ISKCON at Harvard University, the Center for the Study of World Religions, the keynote speaker was a man, Professor Tom Hopkins. Some of you may have heard that name. He met Prabhupada. I believe he was the first scholar to meet Srila Prabhupada way, way back. And after he'd come to America. And in his keynote address, and you can go on, if you look up ISKCON 50th Harvard University, you can Google that. There's an 18-minute film. You can hear it from him directly. He made this point that I'm the communications director for ISKCON, but I can't say this as a member of ISKCON. I can repeat what a third-party scholar said. He said, as a historian of religion, our duty is to make comparisons. Our job is to compare and look for comparisons, to learn about people, learn about history through comparisons. He said, if you look at Bhaktivedanta Swami's contributions to the world, he said, historically, I can't find anyone to compare him to. He said, if I do, and he said, with no disregard to these great founders of great spiritual traditions, but he said at the Harvard Center for the Study of World Religions, there's only 2 people I can think to compare him to. Can anybody guess? Jesus Christ and Muhammad. That's what this scholar of religion said, okay? And then he said, actually, even that's not a fair comparison. He said, because Jesus was in his own country, his own culture, his own language, and had people of his own age to support him. He said Muhammad was in his own country with his own culture, his own language, and his family and others to help him. He said Prabhupada was in a different country, a different culture, with no support, and just see what he's achieved. And then he said, and of course this is ISKCON's 50th anniversary, we'll see what happens in the future. He said, but if you look back at the 2 great religious traditions founded by Jesus Christ and Prophet Muhammad, he said, at 50 years, they were having a lot of problems. Of course, they've succeeded. They've gone on to become great, wonderful, beautiful influences in the whole world. But he was saying we should keep in context the importance of Bhaktivedanta Swami's contribution. So we are a little tiny outgrowth of that. So we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chicago and Kishore, but we're also keeping in mind we're part of a very great global movement that at least some scholars are seen in very, very special perspective. So thank you for that, and I'll turn it over to Vinita.
What a wonderful expression of all this. And welcome everybody here today. We all are witnessing the lovely celebration of 50 years Hare Krishna ISKCON Temple in Chicago. Isn't it wonderful? Yes, let's hear a big round of applause for them and congratulate them. Quickly proceeding towards the program, I would invite Nitya Dance Academy here for presenting a wonderful cultural dance by Ambika Patel, Tulsi Shah, and Bhakti Patel. And how do we welcome them? Clap your hands. Welcome. Yes.
We were supposed to have stagehands, but when we priced what stagehands charge in the city of Chicago, I volunteered to do it. That's.
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं
रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरम्
नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गीतं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं उत्तम मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं उत्तम मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं रमणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं रमणं मधुरम् अमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा
मधुरा मधुरा
मधुरा
मधुरा मधुरा
यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा
सलिलं मधुरं
मधुरं
कमलं मधुरं
मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दुष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा फलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
One more time, clap your hands for such a wonderful dance. I must tell you from where these kids come from and these young volunteers who have done so much more for the Hare Krishna. Really, I'm proud of you all. And Lord Krishna will certainly bless you. Wonderful life ahead. Natya Kalashri Dance Academy. So they have been doing this for almost 34 years, teaching and making so many young dancers to such wonderful dances, and who are able to perform such wonderful performance, and they have won a lot of awards also. They have done including the TV Award Night, ISKCON Award Night, Shrimati Tini Chaudhary, Total Chaudhary, has been inspiring girls through the classical dance of Bharatnatyam from her sincere heart, and we can see the results right here. They have also attended those Midwest Falguna competition and many more, and won anything, whatever, wherever they have gone. They must be blessed by Lord Krishna. If you want to ever join and visit their academy, please you can go to kalashridance.com. Today we had with us Ambika Patel, Bhakti Patel and Tulsi Shah, who made us so happy with their dance, and that we will still remember you and you'll be lingering on our mind. Thank you very much for being here. Sunday is their Aragatnam, that's what I said. We would like you to say about yourself if you're inviting people. Yeah, you want to say about yourself? She's the one? Okay, say that.
We are from Nritya Kalashri Dance Academy. We've been dancing for about 9 years now, And the piece we just performed was a piece about Krishna, and he's like creating ruckus in the village, and it shows his emotions and how like Mirabai had so much devotion to him.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to mention just one thing. Did you hear Vinita say that this group's been dancing for 34 years?
No, I said this.
No, she said this group's been dancing for 34. I just want to point out, those of you that think they look a lot younger than 34,
I didn't say that.
I think we all need to think about taking a Bar Nacham dance. That's what I'm thinking right now. Thank you, ladies. It was wonderful.
I didn't say that, but thank you. Now it's time. Yes, you all can go to take your seats. Thank you so much. And it's time to call another great personality here, Sikhi Maiti. Please give a big hand and welcome him here. He is going to speak some special things to all of you. Please.
Hare Krishna. Where's our technician? Where did he go? Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming this evening. My name is Sikhi Mahiti Das. And as you all know, we're celebrating this 50th anniversary of the installation of Kishore Kishori. So that is considered practically when this ISKCON movement is firmly established, because when you bring the deities, they must stay, correct? Yes, so and for the last 50 years, they've been taken care of very nicely. So please give yourselves a nice round of applause.
Okay, we didn't prep. There he is. Okay, let's give a big hand for our PowerPoint man in charge, Subal Prabhu. Obviously, there's some special prasadam behind the curtain. That's the only possible explanation. By the way, any of you that are concerned, what we've been serving so far is just our hors d'oeuvres. Those are our snacks. So after the program, there's a much more full dinner. So feel free to fill up on the samosas and the dokla, but there's more coming. Okay, Sikhi?
Okay. And while he's getting that ready, we'll mention also we have in the room here many of the devotees who were part of the establishment of the temple in Evanston, which is a very difficult task. So if you see some of these older devotees with the dhoti still on, you please thank them for their contributions and dedication and giving up their youth at that time when most people, they could have gone to college and done so many things, but instead they gave that youth to Srila Prabhupada. So, Ananti Koti Vaishnavinda Ki. F5. Hold on, let me get you going. You do, no, don't touch it. We didn't have time to practice. This is all, it's kind of like that. We're kind of spontaneous. We do everything at the last minute, but it works out. So, there we see brief history of ISKCON Chicago. How many people visited that temple when it existed? Raise your hand. Yeah, in Evanston, of course. Haribol, yes, I think I may remember you at the Sunday feast sometimes also. So go ahead, Prabhu. You're going to have to watch me and I'll give you the hand signals. So ISKCON Chicago, as Nutama mentioned earlier, some of the history of Prabhupada, that this ISKCON Chicago is actually an extension of that mission of His Divine Grace, which began, as we know, on his arrival in America in 1965. And by 1966, he incorporated ISKCON in New York City in a very small storefront with about a dozen disciples. How many people have visited that storefront in New York? You have to see that. It's amazing to see such a small place from that. All these 800 temples have expanded. So this mission was inaugurated during Lord Krishna's appearance about 5,000 years ago when he spoke Bhagavad Gita. And of course, his incarnation of Vyasadeva brought us Srimad Bhagavatam. And about a little over 500 years ago, Lord Krishna himself came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he initiated the Sankirtan movement that you see nowadays. And the aim was to bring happiness and peace to all the living entities in this material world by reviving their inner love of Godhead, which is we call Krishna consciousness. So in 1922, Srila Prabhupada was tasked by his Guru Maharaj to take these teachings and practices to the Western world at their first meeting, the first time he met him. This is Bhaktisiddhanta sitting in the middle, and Srila Prabhupada's the handsome gentleman with the mustache, listening very attentively to his Guru Maharaj speak. So ISKCON has 7 purposes, and that first purpose, the other 6 purposes support that. And that main purpose was to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to a society at large and to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life. And in this way, we will check the imbalance of values in life, and we can achieve real unity and peace in the world. Say Hari Bol. So many temples and farm projects were manifested by Prabhupada's disciples in a few short years. You see some farming projects, and they were very famous in London with the Radha Krishna Temple album. And then ISKCON Chicago, which we're celebrating today, that mission was inaugurated from Detroit around 1970. And the first attempt was on Halstead Street. They had a small apartment. And eventually, Sri Govinda Das, who's now a sannyasi, he found this historic YMCA building in Evanston, and ISKCON Chicago was firmly established, as we can see here. So Srila Prabhupada arranged for their Lordship Sri Sri Kishore Kishori to be the presiding deities of Chicago, and they were installed in 1973. And Prabhupada's first visit to Chicago was in 1974. Did you go to the Rath Yatra at that time? How do you go? That's downtown, and it proceeded to the Picasso statue. I was trying to find that picture. It was in the, matter of fact, the Chicago Tribune. The Rath Yatra with Jagannath right in front of Picasso statue. And again, the next year he came in 1975. We had Rath Yatra. So approximately 80 devotees living practically like brahmachari, even if they were householders, in the temple. And our congregation was a little small, about 200 members. And Prabhupada came again in 1975, Chicago Tribune, nice article. That's Uttama Shloka Das, he was one of the temple presidents. His Holiness Ramapad Swami Ki. And that same summer during Prabhupada's visit, we had at the time, the largest initiation and deity ceremony installation in ISKCON, where about 100 devotees received Harinam Diksha or Brahman initiation. And they also installed 4 sets of small Gaurnitai deities, brass deities, that were put on a bus. And these buses went to all the places where we don't have temples, and they would distribute books and chant Hare Krishna and spread this message of Krishna consciousness. And while Prabhupada was coming on the plane, he noticed this magazine cover on Time, Crime, Why and What to Do. So this was the topic that he discussed with his interviews with various people here in Chicago at the time. Most notably, he had a very long conversation with the mayor of Evanston, the late Edgar Vanneman Jr. And they talked a lot about this idea of how we have to create a class of men that have very high virtues, and that the vices that we have, they can be easily overcome if we chant God's holy name, and we train people to at least rise up to the Brahmin level. So the mayor also had some more inquiries. Well, how would you practically do this? And Prabhupada said, give us that building you just bought. Prabhupada was very bold. The city had planned to take that building and use it for administrative purposes in the city hall. So anyway, they didn't give it to us, but we went on with our mission. And by 1978, we moved here into this wonderful building. So during that course of being here, the city of Chicago has designated this temple building historic, and we're home to such a diverse congregation, are we not? We have people from Russia, from Nepal, China, everyone's coming. This shows that Krishna consciousness is for everyone in everyone's heart. And for a long time, our temple was practically one of the only Indian temples in this area, in Chicago for many years. And we can proudly say within 50 years, we have seen at least 3 generations come together and honor and worship Lord Krishna in our facilities. So, what have we done in the last 50 years? Book distribution, which is very important. By distributing these books, this knowledge is spread everywhere. And I've estimated this, that we probably had about 6 million books distributed at a time. What do you think, Tronic Carter? Yeah, Haribo. He was one of our main book distributors. And prasadam, sanctified vegetarian food, at least 1 million plates. You probably ate half of those, right? Festivals, homeless shelters, all of us did. I'm still a little healthy too. I love prasadam. And hundreds of speaking engagements. Universities and high schools invite us all the time because they want to understand and hear about Krishna consciousness. And now we are also part in the South Side, the Bud Billiken Parade. But you would think, well, what does that have to do with Krishna consciousness? But we're invited every year to come and bring Jagannath in their parade, and we set up a nice booth and distribute prasadam and introduce so many people to Krishna consciousness. And every year we have at least 8 festivals, yes? How many people are coming to Janmashtami in our temple? Haribol. And of course, Janmashtami, Rath Yatra, so many festivals. And devotees are going out in Harinam and chanting downtown Chicago. And many of you may not be aware, but we were invited also to minister within Cook County Jail. So we did that for a couple of years also. So, we're looking forward to the next 50 years, yes? At least our children will see that. And right now we can at least, you can put it back one more, leave it there, that we will honor the previous 50 years, and by Lord Krishna's grace and all you all participating in Krishna consciousness, this movement will continue to expand. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Sikimete. We are trying to go as fast as we can without giving much time to everyone. And we had our Mayor of Lincolnwood, Jesse Patel, with us. He had to leave early, but we are grateful that he was here with us. He's mayor of, he's also referred as a village president, and he became president in spring of 2021, and he's serving a 4-year term in Lincolnwood. The mayor serves as the chairman and the board of trustees. So we are still giving him a big round of applause for being here among us. Thank you. And I would like to call Anutama Chi here to continue the program as quick as we can. Hare Krishna, in between the chanting is supposed to be done. So let's say Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Ma Hare Ram. For you, chanting.
Take this. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we just want to briefly invite His Holiness Romapad Swami, who is currently having someone else speak to him in the front row. Just shows how much he is in demand this evening, and come up and share a few words of wisdom with us. Romapad Swami is a member of the Governing Body Commission. He was in charge, oversaw the operations of Chicago for many, many, many years. He's been initiated a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, now going on since around 1970. Very steady leader in the movement. He oversees, is very active actually, in a lot of our outreach work in one of those parts of the world that doesn't really allow much religious freedom, in Asia, a very big country over there. And he's been leading there. Some of you may be aware there's a very important court case in Long Island that is just hopefully finishing up this week. It's been going on for 19 years. 19 years, and very important addressing some corporate things. We all know legal issues can become difficult, so Maharaj really has led the fight for that among many other contributions. So Maharaj, will you please come up and address everyone. Let's have a nice round of applause and some Hari Bols for His Holiness Brahmapad Swami.
Fine. 3 minutes? 5. Okay. A lot of senior citizens here. But we have, looking forward to another 50 years, our younger generation devotees are the ones that we look to, but we also have to set a nice example for those younger generation devotees. I don't know if all of you have thought a lot about, but I have thought a lot about, okay, how are we going to carry on the Hare Krishna movement for another 50, 100, etc.? Just a little sharing. It's tangential, but it's on topic. During the Kartik month, there's been a plan for a while to go to Udupi and Melkote to visit those two places. And the event organizer is very enthusiastic to take us, to have us, our group, go to Sringeri Math. And you all know what that means. And his idea, along with Madhvacharya and his followers maintaining for such a long period of time the standards and the teachings and the practices, in addition to doing that very same thing in Udupi and Melkote, to do the same thing in Sringeri Math, to make an impression upon the persons who come, many of whom, like all of you, are senior citizens, and they're deeply committed, whether senior citizens or not, they're deeply committed to Vaishnava practices and the traditions within the ISKCON, and as followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the purpose, because he's turning the topic with me, how important it is, so I'm sharing the same topic with all of you, how important it is going forward in time. Part of this is a celebration for, yay, 50 years. That's a big accomplishment. And we'll spend some time discussing about maintaining the deity worship, maintaining the standards. And one of the functions of the GBC is to see that the standards of teachings and worship and so forth go on. In an oversight view, representing our founder Acharya, and, and all of you who want to see standards are upheld and maintained going forward in time. And I encourage all of you, younger generation members that are here especially, but older generation because you're the example setter personalities for the younger generation, to see to not just the bills are paid and the lights stay on, but the teachings, the practices, the vitality of what made the Hare Krishna explosion, just like some of these images you saw, 100 devotees and several sets of Gaurnitai deities and traveling all over the country with buses. So the dynamic is what built, and dynamic is also going to maintain. I'll just a little sharing, because during the Memorial Day weekend I was with a group of devotees. We were in Gita Nagari, at the farm community in Gita Nagari. And one of the theme was lessons from Ramayana. And I'm going to share with you one lesson from Ramayana that's pertinent to what we're doing today. One of the topics that I spoke about was the obstacles that Hanuman met when crossing the sea to get to Lanka. And you all know the story. And built within the story is the first obstacle that he met was Mainaka. And Mainaka was inspired by Samudra, because Samudra had received some kindness from an ancestor of Ramachandra, Sagara, without the details because you know the story. Sagara made some service that helped, benefited Samudra. So he wanted to repay. And there's a nice verse in that section where it says, it's Samudra speaking, and then it's spoken again by Mainaka, that when one receives some kindness, and the kindness that was received by Samudra was a previous generation, like think Srila Prabhupada, and prior to him. What we have is something that's a gift from them, and how to gratitude, the verse says in Sanskrit, it's Sanatan Dharma. It's an eternal religious principle that you receive some kindness, you must pay back. It's a very essential principle. So Samudra went to Mainaka, who had received some benefit from Hanuman's father. Hanuman's father was Vayu. And Vayu protected Mainaka from the thunderbolts of Indra because, long story, during Satya Yuga, mountains had the capacity to fly. And that was causing a problem because they would fly, that was nice, but when they came in for a landing, they'd crush living entities. The example is given like an elephant. When walking, they're not thinking, I'm going to crush this insect or ant or something with his big feet. So the elephants were harming people. The mountains. So they went to Indra. Indra, do something. So with his thunderbolt weapon, he was chopping their wings. And he went after Mainaka. Mainaka had a friendship with Vayu. Vayu blew him from his place into the sea. And so he was protected by Vayu. So because the father of Hanuman had offered him some kindness, he said the verse again. It's Sanatan Dharma, that when you've received something, it's an obligation, it's a dharmic duty to repay that somehow. It doesn't say what, but it's a principle. Okay, so here we are, we've received something. The temple, the deities, the tradition, the practices, prasadam, and festivals, and we received something that we have, and those dear to us have also received. Now, the teaching from Ramayana is, it's our duty. I mean, it's a lovely duty. It's not a burden. It's a duty that's love-filled, to repay. And not just something that someone else did to you, but something that was done by a previous generation. Repay. So that's what's lying ahead of us. We received so much. We're feeling grateful, appropriately so, transcendentally grateful. And now what to do? What to do to give back to our founder Acharya and the disciplic succession and all those who did so much amazing service to provide what we have. What can we do? So help in your own way. We're all little people. Most of us are little people, souls that are very, very tiny. What can we do? But collectively we can do something to repay that which the kindness has been given to us. And that's the next 50 years. Or your part that can help us ensure that that's what happens. So thank you for doing your part for the first 50. And with gratitude in your heart, the next 50 to your capacity, with your ability and the intelligence and whatever it is that you have, the gifts that Krishna has given, use them in an expression of loving service. So that's my little message this evening. Nutama? Srila Prabhupada ki?
So one more round of appreciation for His Holiness Rampad Swami for those important philosophical remarks. It's funny, I looked around the room, I didn't see so many senior citizens, I just saw a bunch of people my age. I didn't realize.
Thank you, everybody, for being so calm and patient. And thank you, Shweta Vedji, for being here. We were waiting for you. And we would like to invite our alderman, Shweta Ved, very popular, to the stage. Please come over. Shweta Ved is an independent businesswoman, educator, community leader, and a proud resident of Aurora, 10th Ward, holding a Bachelor of Science and Master's degree. Shweta is a strong believer in the transformation, power of education, improve the levels of everyday Americans, Indians, citizens, and all the good things that she can do. So we will hear more from her, how she has done her journey and move forward with this committee. Please speak about it.
Thank you very much, Vanita ji. Good evening, everyone. Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe. I'm Shweta Ved. I'm the Alderwoman for Ward 10, City of Aurora. I'm the first Asian to represent in the City Council in Aurora, and Aurora is the second largest city in the state. So thank you so much. I want to congratulate ISKCON for completing 50 years in Chicagoland. This is the first one, I believe, in Illinois, right? That's the first one? Thank you. So I used to live in Chicago, and this is the place where we visited and felt very calm and at peace. So thank you for taking care of the community. And I have a proclamation that I wanted to present. Yeah. If the person representing ISKCON, if you could come on stage. I have met him before.
Yes. The other side of town.
Yes. So this is on behalf of Mayor Richard C. Irwin, Mayor of City of Aurora. Proclamation for ISKCON Chicago on the 50th anniversary. Whereas the City of Aurora, Illinois celebrates its diverse community and has respect for all groups who have chosen to make the city their home. And whereas the Indian community maintains an important role in our city and contributes to our social and spiritual and economic welfare, and whereas many members of Aurora's Indian community are faithful members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness ISKCON Chicago Hare Krishna Temple, and whereas ISKCON Chicago is celebrating its 50th anniversary and for a half century has provided spiritual education and community upliftment, encouraging those of distinct faiths to sincerely practice what they learn in pursuit of service to God and community. And whereas ISKCON Chicago is one of the 500 plus centers of larger ISKCON and was chartered in Illinois in 1973, incorporated in 1974, and remains a spiritual oasis for the greater Chicagoland area, including the state's second largest city, Aurora, Illinois. Now, therefore, Mayor Richard C. Irwin do hereby acknowledge the 50th anniversary of ISKCON Chicago and congratulates its leadership and membership and encourages all the residents of Aurora, Illinois to celebrate this momentous occasion and milestone. Thank you. Very nice to see you.
So when are you going to be the mayor?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderwoman. We appreciate it. Let's have another round of applause for our Alderwoman representing the mayor.
I know Shweta ji for 20 years, and she had been popular since then because she has been always helping people and always kind and always doing lovely events from sports, from activities, and from creativity, and now our leader. Thank you, Shweta ji. Let's give her one more time, big round of applause. Thank you. Yes.
So now we would like to invite some of our community leaders who also have brought some proclamations. First, Sunil Shah, you are here with us. Sunil, please, if you come forward. And I believe Sunil will present a proclamation letter from our state representative, Michelle Moosman. So let's have appreciation for Sunil Prabhu. Sunil briefly, very briefly, has achieved many, many things. He is the FIA Chicago chairman and founder president. He was Schomburg. That doesn't sound like a Hindi name. Is that a Hindi name? Is that Bengali? Gujarati? Yeah. Just making a joke. It's German company, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, it didn't sound, I mean, I don't know much Hindi or Sanskrit or Gujarati, but it didn't sound like any of those. Village zoning commissioner. He's a community supporter with 26 successful years as financial services provided with New York Life Insurance Company and a longstanding leader of the community. Please come up, Prabhu. Appreciate your being here.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Hare Krishna. Our heartiest congratulations to ISKCON Temple, home of the dear Sri Sri Kishora Kishori, celebrating their 50th anniversary. Would like to pay glowing tribute and bow my head down to Srila Prabhupada, who in 1966 came on a cargo ship to USA. It is his utmost sacrifice and dedication, along with his disciples, that propagated the Hare Krishna movement and expanding the ISKCON worldwide. Today we see about 650 plus temples and centers, 110 restaurants, wide variety of community projects, and now see it's growing leaps and bounds. Now I'd like to read out the proclamation sent by my good friend, Illinois State Representative from 56th District, Michelle Moosman. And before I do that, we have many members from our association, FI Chicago, present over here. I would like to request them to come over here. May I request my wife Rita Shah, Neil Khod, Richa Chand, Abir Maru, Gitanjali, Hemendra Shah, Pradeep Shukla, our advisory board member, and also Suresh Bodiwala, our advisory board member, Chandni Duvuri. If I'm missing anyone, and also Vinita Gulabani, our FIA current president. I'd like to offer my congratulations to ISKCON Chicago on your 50th anniversary with special recognition of your founder, Srila Prabhupada, who traveled all the way from India to bring the message of the Bhagavad Gita to the West. This anniversary is a testament to the heartfelt devotion of the members who have grown and nurtured their community over this many years. Since your relocation to Rogers Park, you have provided spiritual programs and services, including a school of music, Sunday feasts, kids' festivities, and many more festivals for the community, all with a special emphasis on environmental and social responsibility. In running these initiatives, you have demonstrated a true commitment to spreading spirituality and happiness, teaching healthy, holistic living, and inner peace to the people around you. Your temple has served as a constant beacon of love and peace for many. Let this milestone be a time of celebration of your achievements, the challenges overcome, those who came before to lay the foundations, and those who now carry the same torch of unwavering devotion. As your spiritual journey continues to deepen, May you be blessed and go forward in service with the same intensity in love and devotion that you have sustained for many years. Once again, congratulations to everyone at ISKCON Chicago on those 50 years, and I wish you many more to come. With warm regards, Michelle Musman. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our office. Thank you very much.
I was afraid of... I was getting concerned if there were many more members of this important organization, I think the stage would have collapsed.
I know.
Thank you. So next I would like to invite Dr. Rashmi Patel. He's also here with us, I believe.
So give a round of applause for Dr. Rashmi Patel.
And been a community leader for many years here in Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate ISKCON for the 50th installation day. And I wish many much more coming, as our leader has said. I used to be coming here all the time because this is the only temple we used to know in 1980s. We had a garbas here downstairs, we had a marriages here, we had a Krishna Jayanti and all this stuff, and we had celebrated all of them. It was fun, it was nice, it was dedications, and we did a lot of work here too. So we distributed more than 250 Gitas as Prabhupada. One of the main concern was the Gita Upadesh, or teaching the Gita. He loved the Gita. He is the one who really spread the Gita all over United States, if I would say. I remember two people. When we were looking at the slides, I saw that will he succeed? There were two gentlemen I loved in my life, and one of that was Swami Vivekananda. He also climbed on a cargo ship. He came here, and he is the one in 1892 spread word of the Hinduism. What is Hinduism? He taught it to the whole world, if you remember, and you all know. Another is the Swami Prabhupada. He not only taught us the chanting and the Gita. So I love both of the things, and really that's what is in my heart. Now furthermore, the proclamation I have received here from Jane Sasarsky, she is our member of Congress. She could not make it here today, so she has sent us this little, she is also from 9th District, Congressman. She said, "Dear friends, I am sending my warmest greetings to all gathered for the 50th anniversary celebration of ISKCON Chicago. ISKCON Chicago has worked for many years in the Roger Park and throughout the rest of the city to promote the meditations and holistic living. This week's celebration honors the contributions of this organization and its founder over the last 5 decades of the service. It is my understanding that this 4 days long festival will involve a series of keynote lectures and attendance by dignitaries and visitors from around the world. On behalf of the residents of 9th Congressional District of Illinois, I hope this event is a great success. Sincerely, Jane Sasarsky, the Member of Congress. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm just curious, raise your hand if any of you have been to other events where Suresh Prabhu was taking the photos. Anybody been to any other events? Not so much. Raise them high. I think a lot of us, yeah. I just gonna say, because if you've been to an event where Suresh is taking the photos, you know who's in real control of the event. Right? Just those of you that have been to events where he's the photographer, just so you all know. Okay, we want to especially welcome, we want to give us another recognition to a community leader who's joined us here this evening. And please forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong, but Dr. Zenobia Zawel. I got it right, really. Can you say Anutamadas? Can you say Anutamadas? Oh, we're good. We are good. We are good. Thank you. Dr. Zowell is a community leader here in Chicago. She's the commissioner of Global I, and she's a governor of the Multi-Ethnic Correlation. And whatever I didn't do right, she's going to come up here and share a few words and correct that introduction, if you would be so kind. Please come up here on stage. We're so grateful you're here.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here to celebrate your 50th anniversary, to share your celebration. I am Dr. Zenobia Sowell, and I'm the governor of the American Multi-Ethnic Coalition here in Chicago. And we work to empower minorities of all types and ethnicities, and yeah, just good to be here to celebrate with you all tonight. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Oh. The American Multi-Ethnic Coalition. And we all know how important that work is today in our country and around the world. People are so divided. And you know, the Bhakti tradition that we teach, the first principle is that all of us are spiritual beings, whether we're male or female or white or black or American or Indian or whatever our different bodily, we say bodily designations are, we're all spiritual beings and we share that in common with each other, and we should learn to support and serve and love each other. So we are in sync with your organization. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zenobia, a wonderful lady. Yes, I must say the organizations and associations here are not just for the name. They have always tried to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. They have been always working hard to make people comfortable and help them when the need comes. So let's really give a big round of applause to all these associations who have been helping. So it's the time, Suresh Bodhiwalaji, who wants to come up and say something very special to all of us, and we must know how to welcome him. 1, 2, 3, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Just
My purpose is not to come on a stage. I just want to come. I came over here to put the chair. That's all, the only reason I came. Nothing, no speech, no nothing. So, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Even though he's in charge, sometimes he doesn't get it exactly right. But those of you that are feeling hungry, just a few more minutes. We do want to take a little bit of time and offer some special thanks, not necessarily having time for some words from all of them, but we want to take a pause. We have some members of our community that served here over the years, and we want to particularly recognize, and some of them have actually left this world, so we want to note in special thanks, and let's 4 or 5 names, and then we can say, where I live in Washington, D.C., when we honor a departed member of our community, we chant the Hare Krishna mantra in unison 3 times. So let's say all 3 of these names, all these several names. Ladini Dasi, Pralamba Das, Vishwakarma Das, Ramakeli Das, and Kanta Dasi. So let's all chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All of these individuals made great sacrifices for our society. We're very grateful. We also want to acknowledge some of the devotees that are here. There's actually going to be This is Thursday evening, then we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday ongoing celebrations and remembrances, so we'll have a chance to honor more of the members of the broader community that are here, but we want to call attention to some in particular. So I'm not sure if they're all here, but if you are here, when you hear your name, please stand up. Be much appreciated. So I saw him earlier. Is Jitendriya Prabhu here? We have Jitendriya Prabhu. Great. We have His Holiness Romapad, and you can stay up, Prabhu. Romapad Swami, if you please stand up. He's here. These people aren't all here, but we wanted to also recognize Koki Prabhu. Koki, where are you? If you please stand up. Sunil Prabhu, the two of them past presidents of our community. They're not here, but Tripurari Swami made wonderful contributions, and His Holiness Ganapati Swami. Let's have applause. Sri Govinda Prabhu, who had hoped to come but was not able to come, and Vrishab Prabhu. We saw Vrishab earlier. Where's Vrishab? There he is. There he is. Vrishab is not only celebrating the 50th, he's setting a new standard in fashion for ISKCON Chicago. So, thank you very much. So let's give another round of applause for all these great souls. Very, very grateful. Thank you all. And then I want to particularly, and I almost forgot, I shouldn't have. There's a lady here tonight who had a lot to do with bringing the deities to this temple. We're going to be hearing more of her stories and other stories in the next couple days. But if I'm not wrong, Malati, Malati actually brought the deities, isn't it? Malati Devi Dasi. Malati has so many stories, and I know she's going to be speaking the next few days. She and I and Rompat Swami and others testified recently in this case in Long Island. And I heard from the lawyers that the judge was asking Malati before, during, and after her testimony to tell them more about the Beatles and her interaction with bringing Krishna consciousness. So the judge was very impressed by Malati, and we should all be so. And of course, she is instrumental in bringing Jagannath to ISKCON. A whole story about that, and Kishore. So we need a lot of applause from Malati. Hare Krishna. Kishore Ki. The carrier of Kishore Ki. Jai. And let's see, we want to offer a brief appreciation from other members from our greater community who have been very, very important in our growth and stability. I do want to mention that factually everybody in this room, we could stop and have a special evening just to appreciate and honor each and every one of you. And unfortunately, we don't have the time to do that because we planned that, but we thought, well, that would mean we'd be serving dinner about 4 a.m. in the morning. And maybe you wouldn't all stay for the whole event, so we should maybe shorten this a little bit. But we are grateful again for each and every one of you. Prabhupada came to bring Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. It's not just a Kirtan movement, it's a Sankirtan movement, which means it's congregation. We come together. Bhakti yoga is done in community. And we all know the ups and downs of the world around us, the ups and downs of our families, of the environment, of the economy, so many challenges of our spiritual lives. Without community, we would all be not in very good shape. So each and every one of you have been very instrumental in bringing this temple to life and continuing this temple. We're very grateful, very much appreciative. I do want to highlight 4 people. I'm not even sure if they're all here because we weren't sure early in the night. But, and I'm going to ask these 4 individuals if they would come up to the stage. Chandrakant Patel, I think he was flying in from somewhere. Koki, do you know, did Chuck make it? He's not here, okay, because we know but he played for those of you that don't know, he was the lead donor and organizer for both bringing the Vyasasan and the Nishinga, the altars for the deities, as well as many other very, very important services. So we should give him a round of applause, even though he's not here. Again, it's our 50th anniversary, so we want to look back at all these contributions. Bailal Patel, he is here. We do want to invite Bailal Patel to the stage. Please come up, Prabhu. Bylaw Prabhu, along with the rest of you, but he particularly played a critical role in purchasing the temple, despite we know there were some obstacles in those days. And he was very, very instrumental in allowing the temple to be purchased and allowing the temple to continue to this day. Would you share just 2 minutes?
Hare Krishna. Congratulations for 50th anniversary. And we, Gujarati community and Indian community, helped bring this building. And we have so many difficulty also, but due to Kishori blessing, we come out from that one. And we are happy that we are completed 50 years. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
And we have a special gift for Bylaw. This is, I don't know if you can see, it's a beautiful coin engraved with Srila Prabhupada's face. And then in the back it says ISKCON Chicago, 1973, 2023. So another round of applause for Bylaw. Suresh is very grateful to Bylaw. That's the first 12 shots you've taken of anybody tonight. So you can measure how important you are by the number of shots he takes, huh? Okay, we have one or two other people we particularly want to mention. I'm not sure if they are here. Is Bharat Barai Prabhu here? He's not here. Okay. Okay, and Mafat Patel Prabhu, is Mafat here? He's not here. Okay, well, again, in Ansem team, let's offer our applause and appreciation for their contributions. And I'll turn it over to Vinita.
Yeah, and we'll continue acknowledging Mr. Damodara Leela Das. Especially for this evening, they have really done a wonderful job and supported and with their kind donations as well. And Chaitanya Kishore Das, if they are here, please stand up. He's here, please. Yes. Are they coming on the stage? Thank you. I would also like to invite Mr. Chirag Patel, if he's here, please come on the stage. Mr. Chirag Patel. Father is here. We would like his father to come up, please, on the stage. He's here. Thank you so much for supporting such a nice event today. Also, Mafat Patel ji, if he's here, please come on the stage.
I think they were here, but they knew we were running late and that all of you wanted prasadam, so they decided to sacrifice the honor so you could eat quicker. I saw a few people running out the back door. We're almost done. I want to take a moment and recognize our local temple council, who are actually the executive directors of the temple. At this time, I'm not sure if they're all in the room, but I want to ask them to stand up. And Subal Prabhu, if you would stand up and stay standing for a moment. Subal Prabhu. Naveen Krishna, he may be in the kitchen. Is Naveen up here? Stay up. Naveen and Balaram Prabhu is in India at this time. Radharaman Prabhu, I know he's here. Radharaman Prabhu, thank you. Stay standing. And Paramatma Prabhu, are you here? There he is. Okay, so there's 3 of the 5. Again, let's give a big round of applause. And Radhaman, you want to come up on stage? Okay. Yes. So we want to just, before we break for dinner, we want to thank particularly Leela Manjari, who's very, very instrumental. Why don't you come up here? Just come up for a second. This is just briefly. Leela Manjari's been, I think, practically giving up all of her eating and sleeping to organize everything. Let's get a picture. Suresh Prabhu, she's the main, okay?
Everybody should clap. She worked so hard.
Okay. Suresh said, everyone should clap. She worked so hard. We'll just ask for some closing words from Radha Raman Prabhu, and then we have a little bit of a plan how to organize our prasadam serve out. We'll see how that works. But Radha Raman's going to say a couple things, and then we will explain how we're going to have dinner.
So I just want to say thanks, many, many sincere thanks to all of you for being here with us today in celebrating our such an auspicious day when Kishore Kishori were installed here 50 years ago. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence has made this evening really very, very wonderful. I would also like to all of you to join me in thanking our host and hostess, Anuttama Prabhu and Vinita Mataji. Please join me in giving them a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you.
A native Chicagoan, David H. Moore spent his childhood in the Robert Taylor homes. Upon completing Simeon Vocational High School, he graduated from Western Illinois University with a dual major in accounting. Any accountants here? Raise your hand. I've met a few accountants earlier today, okay? And operations management. We need your help in this country. As a member of the Governing Body Commission, you and I should talk later. Operations management. He earned an MA with emphasis in government studies at Loyola University Chicago. As our alderman, Moore believes that his first priority will be to tackle traditionally neglected areas in the 17th Ward, from severe unemployment and school closings, foreclosed homes and abandoned buildings, to street and sidewalk improvements and tree trimming. You know, these are the basic things that we expect and we hope our government can provide for us. He sits on 6 city council committees: economic, capital and technology development, housing and real estate, human relations, license and consumer protection, rules and ethics and zoning, landmarks and building standards. And on top of all of that, he loves prasadam. So let's give a nice warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you all so much. First, happy 50 years. Y'all make some noise for 50 years. I had another event tonight, and I said I have to make it here, and I'm glad I made it for one of the most important parts, and that is prayer. When I entered the building, the celebration, the dancing, and everything was just so wonderful. But the prayer is what touched me, because it is that in which I tell people we are spiritual beings living a human experience. And it's that spirit that connects you to people. You can get a bad spirit or you can get a good spirit from someone. You can feel it immediately. And the moment I walked into this door, the moment I met the many friends of this community, I felt good spirits. And that's why I feel so connected to this community. What I told people, and I continue, it just wasn't about me running for office. It just wasn't about me standing up in city council when I needed to stand up. I let you know that you have a voice in me in this city. I've said it privately, I've said it publicly, and I will continue to say it. Don't ever think you don't have anyone to stand up for you in the city. Maybe you may have other plans. You may know other elected officials, but I don't make a lot of promises in this field of politics. I always say I will do my best. But I promise you, when you call upon me, I definitely will listen. And try to help push whatever agenda that we need to push. And I don't have to just say that I've done it before and I'll do it again. So thank you all. So much for the invitation. And I'm telling you, whoever prepared the food, prepared it with so much love. I thank you. I tasted the love all in that food. And thank you so much. And it was so delicious. I think I ate too fast. You thought I probably haven't eaten in years, but it was just that good. And so thank you so much for the preparers of this food. And thank you for this invitation. Bless you all.